Hey guys, and welcome back to Women Empowerment Wednesday. Today we have the beautiful Misty out of Texas. She's a mom of four and she's just been through a lot of highs and lows that she's going to be able to share with us so we can know how to navigate different situations. She's been in the beauty industry for over 20 years, which I think is so cool. And so we'll be able to talk about life as far as being pregnant, not having like all that support that she really would have wanted, and just a few different other things that I think is going to be able to help me and inspire others as well. So, Misty, if you can come up just to share a little bit about you.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here and just to share a little bit of my story and journey and hope it just shines some light and some hope in others, truly.
Mhm.
Just being a entrepreneur with four kids and pretty much taking care of them on my own was a lot. But I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't be who I am today. So I'm excited to jump in and share some of my story.
Yeah, so thank you again for just making space for me and coming on my show. So thank you, thank you. So
Yeah.
what inspired you first to get into the beauty industry over 20 years ago?
Well, as a child, I think it was just meant to be. I always loved hair and makeup, and I
Mhm.
would always fix my Barbie's hair and aquanet it and then shampoo it and do it again. Even as I got older, and I probably shouldn't have been playing with Barbies, but um, they just were a joy for me to create something beautiful. And then as I grew, I was in competitive dance. So I did a lot of stage makeup and hair, and then I started doing everybody else's. And as I got older, it just transitioned into a passion. So I went to hair school the first time when I was 18 and I moved. So I dropped out. But then when I got
Okay.
married and pregnant, I needed something so I could take care of my kids. So I went back and finished. So um, it just made sense with children. It was an easy way
Mhm.
to control my schedule without working in a 9 to 5 job. So it was just easier way to work a little bit and be able to take care of my kids at the same time.
Yes, and I love that. And isn't it crazy like how we are today and then we look back at how we were when we were little and how like things were really kind of aligning back then for us to be like the people we are today. I think it's so cool.
Yes, definitely.
Because
It's
I feel like I was the same way as far as like being organized, structured. I love like filling out forms and stuff like that. And then like I ended up in operations. And it was just like I was so happy because it's like that's what I've been doing since I was like a little girl. And I
yeah,
just love it. So
yeah.
how was it going through cosmetology school while being pregnant and then lacking that support that you needed?
It was a very dark time, to be honest. You know, I just looked at the day. How can I get through today? And I
Yeah.
knew my life had to change. So it just gave me kind of a lifeline. I just knew that every day I got up and I went to school was a closer day to so-called freedom, I guess, in my eyes, right? To be
Hmm.
able to take care of my kids and give them the things that they needed in a home, because that, as a woman, that's important for us, right? To feel
Yeah.
secure. And I didn't have that in my life. So I was seeking that. And again, it was hard, but looking back, it's kind of crazy because I feel like there was like a fog over my head of just like,
Hmm.
I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Just go. Just
Yeah.
get up every day. Just make it happen. Get my hours. Let's get it done. But yeah, it's crazy looking back because I don't know because I'm a different person now. Like I don't know if I could redo that, but yeah, it was hard and difficult.
Yeah, and I feel like again, like you said, as a woman, especially as a mom, like and me, I can speak to this as well. Like we get so caught up in the doing that it's almost like functioning depression. And I'm self-diagnosed, I've been diagnosed, but I felt like because I just had to do the day-to-day things, I was losing myself, but it's like I didn't have a choice. Um, and so I don't want to speak on support. So what are like some tips that you can possibly give ladies out here who may be going through the same thing and don't have that support? Because support looks, I feel like it looks different for all of us depending on what it is we're looking for. But what's like some tips?
Well, I will say I'm not a person to ask for help. So if you're one of
Mhm.
those people, um, stop. Just reach out if you have a
Yeah.
friend. good neighbors, a church community, a work community, even a gym community, if
Hmm.
you don't have family, there's always people around who want to help. They just
Yeah.
don't know it because, like you said, depression, you're
Hmm.
struggling and you think that you have to do it alone, and you don't have to do it alone. There's always people there. Also, I had help from the state to help pay for my daycare while I went to school.
Nice.
So there's always other state functions. There's if there's a will for you, there's a way. And that's I teach my children that too. Like if there's you really want this, you're going to figure it out, because especially this day and age, there's all the knowledge is at our fingertips. Get on the internet
Exactly.
and search it and seek it, ask questions, get on a group, say, hey, I need this. Does anybody know anybody?
Hmm.
Put it out there, because it can happen, and it can happen sooner, faster, and easier if you ask for help and reach out to people. I wish I would have asked my family or other people around me for more support. Again, at that time, I wasn't developed in that area. So I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to figure it out. But it's not always the easiest, and it's more stressful.
Okay. So, guys, Misty said, make sure you ask for help. And then again, like, isn't it crazy when we look back? Because I do like a lot of self reflection now of my own life. And it's like you look back and you don't know how you made it happen, but you made it happen, especially when you're a mom. Like, you go into that mode, like, if I'm the one who's responsible. And I was just thinking about that because I had my son, I got pregnant when I was 17. So I was a senior in high school. And we had this apartment, and I was working full time. $8.64 an hour was what I was making. But it's like you figure it out and you make it work and you use whatever resources. And then it's like to think about where I'm at now, which isn't, God is not done with me. He's still writing my story, or I'm still learning the story that he's written. But it's like the apartment that I had was a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and it couldn't have been like 600 square feet, but it never felt that small because it was filled with like so much love and happiness. And I think about like my master bedroom now, like that whole apartment, including the balcony, can fit in my room. So it's just crazy. It's like the growth and what we do when we're moms, because we just figure it out. But asking for help is necessary because it doesn't have to be as hard as we sometimes make it on ourselves.
Right.
And the worst that someone can say is no. And if they say no, okay, and we move on. Because my thing was like, I didn't like rejection. So if you told me no, like I was gonna fall out the chair. Like that was gonna be it.
Right. Yeah.
So thank you for that, Misty. And so how do you feel like becoming a mom shaped the way that you approach business and then entrepreneurship?
Oh, I think I'm trying to word this right, but when you
Mhm.
become a mother, there's an instinct that comes out that's almost
Mhm.
animalistic, right? Like you will
Yes.
protect your cubs. And I think there's a fire that comes with that within. You're just like, this is not acceptable for my family, for my children, or
Hmm.
for me, and we're not going to have this any longer. It just it lights you up and gives you a more desire and more passion to reach your goals, to do what you have to give and protect and give
Hmm.
that security to them that I wanted, Um,
Yeah.
so it definitely is a fuel and a drive for me, and I'm sure for many women. It's
Hmm.
different when it's just yourself. You're just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it less. I'll
Meh.
do it next year. But when you got all these mouths to feed and looking at you, and you're like
Yeah.
going, yeah, this is not cutting it. This is not going to work. We're going to have to change this. It
Yes.
really changes your perspective.
And I agree. I agree. So I feel like a lot of women feel forced sometimes to choose between being a mom and their dreams. What would you say to them?
That's not true. It's not true at
Mhm.
all. Like I said, if there is a will, there's a way. There's so many
Yes.
moms, working moms, entrepreneur moms out there that I
Hmm.
know personally. And I think it's better because if you're working for somebody, you are more structured to an hourly, like you have to be there at 9, you have to stay till 5, or
Hmm.
you're being overworked. If you're an entrepreneur, you can structure your life the way you want,
Yes.
right? That's one of the things that I teach is if you want to take 2 vacations, then you will put that into your budgeting for the year, and you will
Hmm.
allocate that, and that percentage will go into a fund for your family vacation every year. And
Yes.
you plan it that way. Like, this is just what I have to do. This is what I have to make. This is my budget. So
Hmm.
you work around it. it happens, it's all up here. If
Yes,
you feel like, hey, I can't do this, then you can't. It's that simple.
exactly. And
Uh,
if you tell yourself you can, you're going to do it.
yeah. Yes.
And I think like it's important, like that mindset is huge. And then when you get around a community of people such as ourselves or whoever you have in your local community, like when you're around the like-minded people, you guys feed off of each other. And again, like you said, Misty, that fire comes out and you want to do better. And then I love I love all things entrepreneurship. Like it makes me so excited. Because people are following their passions and then you make your own schedule. And the only difference between someone who does and doesn't is with entrepreneurship, like you're the only reason you're going to fail. Like
Right.
you said, there's knowledge everywhere. ChatGPT, Google, like there's no excuse for you not to want to do what you want to do because like everything is literally at your fingertips, majority free. If you do the right resource or you do the right research or get, to the right resources and things like that. So I agree. And so with raising your kids and being a business owner, like what were some challenges that you had to overcome?
For sure, balance.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, I can tell you, I wish I would have created more space for my family time. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why it's so important for me to teach it nowadays
Yeah.
to clients. Um, because I don't think you feel like I have to work all the time to do good. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not the case. It's actually the opposite. It's how you structure your hours when you do work,
Mm-hmm.
time management, blocking out, planning. If you're doing all those things correctly, you'll have more time for your family and more time to be
Mm-hmm.
present at home. Because a lot of people, even if they are at home, they're still not present because they're
Right.
stressed about work or they're worried about this or so it's learning how to structure your business and run your business in a scalable way that not just that you're profiting, but that you do have time for your family and your kids and your time. Because if you're not pouring back into yourself, you're going to be depleted.
Yes.
Self awareness and self care is so important to function at a higher peak to get the
Mm-hmm.
life that you want.
And I couldn't agree more. And that's something that I'm learning because I've been an entrepreneur for 6 years now. And I'm learning, you got to cut it off, Victoria. And I think it's hard for us because I feel like, we're at the end of the day, like if we don't work, we don't have money coming in. So it's like we get in that mindset where we have to work. And then I was getting caught between like tying my value to how productive I was. And that's not true either.
Mm-mm.
And so just creating those boundaries within yourself and within your businesses are important because like you said, I can be home and now I'm answering social media or I'm answering emails and then next thing you know, it's like midnight and I
Yeah.
haven't spent time with my son. So, it's important to be able to make those boundaries, like you said, and be intentional about your time. Do what pays you or whatever you're passionate about, and then leave it at that and be okay that some things are just going to have to roll over to the next day. What's something that you learned along the process of the seasons where you may have felt like overwhelmed?
What did I learn?
Hmm. Or
I
how did you
learned
learn to keep like going?
I think it kind of goes back to the self awareness, because you become overwhelmed when you're not
Hmm.
listening to yourself. You're not paying attention to, hey, I need a break. I need a timeout. I mean, there were times when I locked myself in my room from my kids. I was like, Mommy needs a timeout.
I need a moment,
Right.
please.
Like there's 4 of you and 1 of me. I need a breather. Just learning to listen, and it's okay
Hmm.
that you're not okay in a moment. I think so
Yeah.
many people feel like they have to be on point 24/7, and that's not true. We're human. We have emotions, we have feelings, we have needs, we have
Yes.
desires, and it's important to listen to those and incorporate those into your life, your daily life,
Hmm.
or at least weekly structure. I have a day where I put my phone down, and I'm
Hmm.
family, I just give to them and everything else can wait because
Yeah.
they are so important and you don't get that time back. But
No.
going back and just feeling overwhelmed, it's because I was trying to do too much. I was not
Hmm.
structuring my days. I was not listening to myself. I was depleted and I was trying to run on empty.
Hmm.
And you just can't function like that. Your work's not good. You're not a good mother. You're not producing good work at that point. So you have to stop. And people think, well, if I'm a good, like you said, if I'm a good business owner, then I'm just going to work 24/7. No, that's not a good business owner at all, because
Mm-mm.
your work's going to show that you're not quality work, or you're not showing up
Mhm.
100%. You're not giving it your all, and you don't want that.
Exactly. And I think we have to be okay knowing, and I had this conversation with another podcast host, that some days you may just be able to give 80%. And
Yeah.
if that's your best 80%, then that's what you're going to give for the day. And you have to be okay with that. Like every day is not going to be 100%. Like Instagram highlight reels are not real. Like people
Right.
have real life issues. Like, and I always say that because Instagram makes everything so perfect. It's not aesthetic. Like life happens. As a mom, sometimes we have to time. I know for me, like if I have crying moments or a mental breakdown, I have to time them in between, like picking up my son from school or while I'm in the shower. Like, and then I have to get out and, hold it together. But life happens and life is real. And we just got to keep learning from each other and then moving forward.
Yeah.
Um,
There
for
is
sure.
one thing that we do in our household. We give each other 24 hours. You have
Okay.
24 hours to be upset about that, or be mad about that, or whatever that is. And then after 24 hours, you're done. Where life moves on, we're over it.
Yeah.
So,
And I love that.
yeah.
And then another life coach, and I got to incorporate this. I keep saying it, but I haven't done it yet. She's a joy coach, and she basically says like whenever her kids or whatever get upset in the house, like they blow bubbles, because she's like, "Who's upset blowing bubbles?" And I'm like, "That's true. Like if you're having a moment, just blow some bubbles, let it out, because you're actively like breathing and letting it out as well." So I'm like, I got to get that to my son is 15. He'll be 15 in a couple weeks, but I'm like, you do blow some bubbles, so
I love
let it out.
it. I have to blow some bubbles.
Yeah, it's cute. It's really cute. Okay, so I know when we talked before, you had talked about being in multiple marriages and just going through like major life transitions. How do you feel like those experiences shaped you as a woman?
Wow. Um, so many things. I think that each relationship brings something different.
Hmm.
You learn something from people that you spend time with, even if it's
Hmm.
marriage or any kind of relationship. Um, I definitely learn how to sacrifice, right? Because
Okay.
part of relationships is outserving the other person. And you
Hmm.
have to think about the other person's needs, wants, and desires above yours. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like my first marriage, he wanted to be married, but not a husband. He wanted to
Okay.
have kids, but not be a father. And those are two separate things, right? And
Hmm.
we don't, sometimes we miss part of the picture. And um, I just think that you learn how to love. I learned how to love people.
Yes.
I've learned how to love myself. I have learned how to go within and take responsibility and
Hmm.
accountability for my actions, my wrongs, my faults, um, and learn how to change and grow. After my second divorce, I was devastated and
Hmm.
I was mad at God. I was like, if this is your idea of marriage, I'm disappointed.
Hmm. Pretty much.
Right. And
Why?
right. But I drew a line in the sand. I just said, I never want to go back there. I never want to be that person. I never want to
Hmm.
feel those things. And that's when I had to do a self-reflection and go, if this keeps happening, then what am I doing? What am I
Hmm.
doing that's drawing those people, that's allowing that to happen, that's giving space to that kind of behavior?
Yeah.
And when I did that, I started seeing things in me that I had to change. And it just transformed me. And within a couple years, God gave me my husband that I have now. And
Yay.
he's amazing, and he helps me grow. We help each other grow and see
I
things.
love it.
It's the beautiful relationship that I've always wanted. As a little girl, you're
Hmm.
like in love with love. And,
That's me. Look at my grown age. Like I love love.
right. And you're like, that's so silly, but it's not, because I feel like it was part of my soul's journey in this life
Hmm.
to love the way I do now with my husband. And it's beautiful. And I wish everybody could experience it. But it does take a mirror. You do
Yeah.
have to look within and say, how can I be better so I can have a better relationship, because all the junk you're
Yes.
carrying, you bring into a relationship, and you have to filter through it, and sometimes the other partner doesn't want to filter through your junk.
Hmm.
Like,
Or
they're like,
theirs. Like,
right, why didn't you clean your suitcase out before you came?
uh-huh.
So I think you just have to stop and just reflect within yourself and just say, how can I be a better person today? And honestly, it's not just going to benefit your relationship, it's going to benefit your work and your,
Overall.
yeah, like, you see people differently. You want to help people, you want to be there for people, you want to show up for
Hmm.
people, and you want to love people. And when you can show up for others like that, it's a game changer. People are like, oh, I want to work with her. Like, she's somebody
Hmm.
I want to spend time with. Um, so overall, it's going to affect you. And I feel like it's part of like the karma thing too, right? You put
Yeah.
out all that love and good energy and space, it
Yes.
comes back to you. So,
Yes. And like you said, reflection is huge because I reflect a lot. And it's like, especially during this season of me being single, you have nothing but, well, I guess I could fill my time with other things, but I reflect a lot. And I've been digging like deeper because, again, that accountability piece is huge. And then I want to say congratulations on finding the love of your life.
thank
I'm
you.
happy for you guys because that's huge. Um, but yeah, they're supposed to help you grow and elevate. And it's like you said, you have to become like the best version of yourself to be the best version for them. And I feel like even though we don't like going through things, when we go through them, they all have a purpose. And sometimes maybe it could be so you can appreciate when you actually get something that you've been wanting all of your life. Because maybe we know if we get things prematurely, we won't appreciate it as much. We just never know. God is the master of all things, and he be moving and shaking and orchestrating. And, we just have to listen. We have to reflect. We have to pray, and we just got to listen to what he's saying. And ultimately, like you said, when you put good out in the world and you're just loving and just helping and serving, it all comes back more than we can ever imagine. So I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I know that we also talked about you buying a business from someone else that you thought was a friend. What experience did that teach you about like trust and business relationships?
Well, it's okay. If you want to buy a business from a friend, that's perfectly fine. But make sure you do your due diligence. Don't just believe everything. Look at the
Yeah.
proof, look at the numbers, and have a business broker look at it. Not
Okay.
a CPA, a business broker. They have different formulas for numbers to see how much the business is worth. These are
Mm.
things that I did not know at the time, and I asked the right
Right.
people for information. Um, you just need to do your due diligence, and it's not personal, it is business. You make
Yeah.
sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, and you have it looked at every which way possible before you invest your money and your time. Because if you're going to invest that much of yourself into something, you want it to have a profit, you want to have a good ROI on it. And
Hmm.
um, if I went back, obviously there would have been a lot of different things happen, but I learned a lot. Like, I'm honestly, there's so much value in what I learned that I can't say
Hmm.
I wish I didn't do it,
Yeah.
not just business skills, but I learned who was my friends and who really
Yeah.
wasn't, and who people really are. You really just don't know people. You don't know them the way you think they do. People show you a version of them that they want you to know.
Yeah.
And that's everybody. That's just human instincts, right? Because we want to be people. A lot of people want to be other people, or we want to be
Hmm.
perceived as something. So there's a persona that people are putting up, and that's okay. Everybody does it. I'm not judgy, but um, just protect yourself is what I'm saying. Just be like, okay,
Yeah.
this sounds great. Let me just have my attorney, my broker look at it, and I'll get back to you, and then we can negotiate whatever that looks like. But yes, always be careful, and don't just go with people that you might know because it's convenient. That's what I did.
Right.
People that I knew, and I was like, oh, hey, can you look at this? And like, oh yeah, it looks great. Like, I'm like, no, it did not. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just be careful and go to professionals that know what they're looking at and how to crunch numbers and deal specifically with purchasing businesses, no matter big or small. Even if it's just a lease that you're looking
Mm-hmm.
at, if you're not sure about contracts and what contracts mean and what verbiage is, have an attorney
Yeah.
look at it so you actually know, because these big companies, they know how to protect themselves. They know how to
Yes.
word things, and you will sign that thinking it means one thing, and that's not what it means.
Exactly.
So,
So seek professional help, guys. Because with being a business owner for 6 years, like we've had different run-ins, and it's just unfortunate it happens.
yep.
But again, always have like a second set of legal eyes to look at whatever it is that you're doing. Because it'll save you a headache years down the line. It'll save you thousands of dollars. Like it's just insane what business owners go through, and you know, and I know too. So
Yes.
help and save you guys. Were there any like red flags that you saw like along the way that could possibly help someone else kind of going through the same thing?
Well, I will say I should have listened to my intuition for sure. I felt
Okay.
not good at some points in areas. And I wish now I would have just said no.
Hmm.
But there's like a duality within you, right? Like, I want this to work. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to figure it
Yeah.
out. But when you're looking at the reality of the numbers and the situation and what's going on, it's not working. So I feel like just listen to your body again. We're going back
Hmm.
to intuition and going within. Like, if you don't feel good about something, don't do it. And it could
Yeah.
be something that you just may need to shift, and then you can move forward. It's not always
Right.
a full no. It's just that specific in those terms don't feel right or don't feel good some reason. So go back and look at it, get a different set of opinions, ask somebody else to
Hmm.
look at it, whatever it may be. My struggle was the numbers were not what I thought they were, and then the commercial lease. There were some things in there that got us hung up personally.
Okay.
So it made it a lot harder to get out safely. Um,
Okay.
so they can put personal agreements in things. So it's, even if you have an LLC, you still will
Right.
be
You're a personal grantor.
liable.
Yeah.
So be very, very careful about stuff like that. That's why you just have to have somebody professional look at it, even if you have a couple people look at it, because someone can miss it if they're not good at what they're doing. But that was my biggest thing, is that we had some personal things tied into it, and we didn't realize
Okay.
that. Yeah, so we were personally
Okay.
liable.
And so again, protect yourself at all costs, and listen to your body. I'm learning, like I'm 33 and I feel like I didn't learn this until I turned 30, is that your body is going to tell you before your mind processes
Yes.
something. So your nervous system, the anxiety, the butterflies, like that's your nervous system saying like, wait, something isn't right. So if something feels off, like Misty said, pay attention to that, investigate that. Again, like she said, it may not be the worst decision. You just may need to alter something and then move forward in a safer direction. But listen to your body, because your body will tell you. So again, thank you for sharing that. And then again, and before I continue, thank you for being vulnerable and opening up, because I feel like this is going to be able to help so many people who feel like they have to be, like you said, perfect all the time,
Right.
and not understand like you can go through things, life will happen, you move around, you figure out how to adjust, and then you can still come out being successful. And still having a good spirit, because I feel like sometimes people go through things and they become mean or not, as lively as they should. But to have like a great spirit, have a great, be positive, a lot of beautiful energy is a testimony to who you are. So shout out to you, Misty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I know that you filed bankruptcy. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And that can feel extremely emotional. And for a lot of people, like that's a voodoo word. Like people just stay away from it. They all automatically put like a negative connotation to it when people do it all the time. Some people do it every year, whatever. But what was your experience like that personally?
Um, that was like the best choice in that situation. Like I said, we got tied in personally and we didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the only way to protect our family and personal assets at the time. It was a struggle, especially my husband. was very upset about that because he is very structured and very put together with retirement and 401k and all the things, like he had everything where he wanted it. And we really had to change a lot of things for that to happen and to go through that. It was difficult. It was very stressful, especially when you feel like you're being forced into something. Mm-hmm. But in all honesty, I'm glad that there is something like that for you to kind of hit a reset button saying, oops, I made a boo-boo. What can I do about this? And there is a way to protect your family. Mm-hmm. It's not fun to go through, but at least you have an out button. I've had mentors that have had to go through it like 6 or 7 times in their business careers, and they're still successful. They still make a lot of money. It doesn't mean that you are not a good entrepreneur. It doesn't mean that you're a bad business person. It doesn't mean all of these things. It means you're human and you made an error, which we all do. So it's not a bad word. Tons of big companies use them all the time to bail out their company so they can continue functioning. So this is something that it's kind of a loophole that people use. They'll bankrupt that, change the name a little bit, you can stay in business.
Reopen or whatever. And I feel like millionaires and billionaires do it all the time. Like it's like the cheat code, but they make it like where it's embarrassing for people, not like middle class people, to like file, but then it's like the rich do it all the time.
Right.
So
people are like, well, what about my credit? I go, give yourself 3 years. It's all back. People want you to be in debt. They want to give you cards.
Exactly. And I feel like sometimes it doesn't even take 3 years. Like I've heard it takes maybe anywhere from like 6 to 12 months, depending on if you do like a chapter 7 or 13. But again, like it's a master reset button. Because again, like sometimes, we get out of college. I know for me, like I had like 20 credit cards as soon as I got out of high school, actually, because they want to give you the credit cards. And I'm like, let me get this 25% off at Old Navy. Let me get this, because they don't teach you that type of stuff in high school, which they should. And so you go crazy and it's like, okay, now you have to pay these back, and now it's the interest fees. And so don't be ashamed if you have to file bankruptcy, because at the end of the day, you're the only person in your financial situation. So you're going to have to deal with whatever baggage comes along with it. And again, sometimes we need a master reset button to say, I made bad decisions. I'm more financially sound now. Help me. Like it's okay to say, help me. And don't feel embarrassed, because those are what the attorneys are there to do. They're there to help. They see cases all the time, like left and right. So definitely reach out to Misty. I don't know if you're open, if people wanted like feedback or just, emotional support on that, for sure.
Definitely.
So how did it work as far as like rebuilding your confidence after having like these financial setbacks? And then of course, like your husband in your ear during this time as well?
Well, business wise, I just kept going. Like I was like, okay, so where do I want to go from here? Because you're back at ground zero, right? You're like, what do I want to do? How do I want to change it? How do I want to shift? Do I still want to stay in this lane? Do I want to change lanes? And that's when I decided to shift a little bit. And that's when I went into the beauty consulting instead. Especially after everything that I learned. I also went through Goldman Sachs small business program. And those things just opened my eyes to the business world and what it's really like and how it really functions. And I was like, people in the beauty world, we're so focused on our skills and taking all these new classes and new things and new ways to do it, which are great for our clients. But we need the skills for our business. And there's so many spots that are blind spots to us that we don't even know are there, where we're losing money. And so I became very passionate about helping people. So then I started just coaching people, beauty industry, service industry, basically it's the same thing. And just teaching them how to structure, how to set up, what to focus on, what to look out for, how to protect themselves. Because I didn't have that.
Right.
I didn't have someone walking me through all of those things. and teaching me that. So that's when I jumped into the consulting, and I love it. I love teaching though. I learned that years ago. I love teaching and just pouring into people and helping people have a better life and going, no, you can do this. This is how you can do it, and showing people and being their cheerleader. So, honestly, I love it. I feel like, they always say when you give to somebody, that's actually, you get more from giving.
Yeah.
And the same thing in teaching, I feel like, because you're giving a knowledge, you're giving a part of what you went through. And I love it. It's just beautiful.
Yes, and I couldn't agree more. And again, that's about like putting that positivity out there, because like I love helping people too. And I feel like when we go through different things like marriages, because I've been married and divorced too, or being a teen mom or starting businesses, like we can relate. Like it's not just us saying like, okay, here's what you should do. It's like, no, this is what happened to me. This is what I learned, good and bad and different. And now I can really help you because I've been there. So that adds like a different type of value for you. So I'm sure your clients really appreciate that. As well. So how do you separate your worth as a woman from like your financial or business struggles? Because again, sometimes I feel like we get so caught up that we tie the two together.
I feel like your work kind of becomes your identity. Well, like I said, we were talking about the transition, like just in my personal life with my marriages, and then the things that happened in my business. It really helped me change and develop who I am and where I am now in my career. So I feel like they're very tied together, because if your personal life is chaos, I'm sorry, but your work life is going to be chaos. You can't have it any other way. And vice versa. Like you can't be one person in your personal life and a different person in business. I mean, I guess you can try and you can fake it, but it's going to come through eventually. Right? I work with a lot of hairstylists, and especially the younger generation is real fun. So showing up in appropriate attire, not knowing how to communicate with clientele, and yeah, they're young, but I wasn't like that at that age.
Exactly.
So, it's just a different period of time that we have to step back. And I think that's where a lot of businesses, not just beauty businesses, but business in general, especially after COVID, our world has shifted. And we have to accommodate that. I see so many people are like, I don't understand I don't know how to hire. I don't know how to deal with my employees. I don't know. And we have to shift. We have to go back into their mindset and like, where are they? And it's kind of hand holding. It's kind of like, okay, these are my expectations. They're going to be on the wall, and this is what I need you to do. And it sounds so like micromanaging, but it's like, no, I think we have to be very clear communicators, because they haven't learned how to be communicators. So
that's very true.
Yeah. Just saying, hey, you know what? So glad you showed up. Positive reinforcement, going back to, raising children, almost skill wise or mindset wise, not that your employees are your children, but it's the same concept, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to be seen and appreciated. So just saying, hey, thank you for, showing up today. I'm so happy to see your smiling face. Today was, kind of what I hope to get from you today, or whatever it looks like, or however you structure it. But it's just showing up and being the person that you want them to be.
Yes.
Because I also see a lot of like owners who are expecting their employees to be a certain way, but they don't reflect that. And I'm like, you can't expect them to do all these things, but you're not doing it,
Exactly.
Because you're basically setting the standard of like, this is okay. This is okay in my business. And I mean, it's just the world. It's like telling your kids, don't do what I do, just do what I say. That doesn't work.
They're going to do what you do at the end of the day. So that's huge. Cause like you said, you have to meet people where they're at. And sometimes again, you may have to lean a little further, teach them the way, build a foundation, and then they'll follow.
Yes.
Some don't get it. Some little ducklings don't get it. Other ones get it. But at least you can say you do your justice. And again, at the end of the day, as a business owner, they're going to do what you do, not what you say.
Right.
They're going to be like, it doesn't align. So it's best that you do what you say. And then everyone will follow the leader. So
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So through everything that you've been through, what has helped you stay motivated for not only you, but for the babies too?
Just protecting my peace. Um,
Yes.
you know, it's so precious, and
Hmm.
people give it up way too easy. I see,
Hmm.
just like something simple as you had a client that was difficult. You get to choose how you respond. And do
Yes.
you want to go to that level? Do you want to take it home? Do you want it to bleed that same, energy or whatever you got to other people? And, it does take practice, but it's just going into a mindset every day and just being like, I'm protecting my peace.
Yes.
I'm not going there. And even if someone comes in and they're upset, just diffuse it. Just be like, what can I do to help you right now?
Yep. And then half the time, like, especially as a business owner, we have to learn, and I have an HR background too. You can't take everything personal. Half the
Right.
time that people have an attitude or whatever, it has nothing to do with you. It's trickling from somebody else. So when you diffuse it, like you said, how can I help you, or what's going on? Talk to me so we can figure it out. That makes them feel seen, valued, heard. And again, it may have nothing to do with you.
Right.
It could be because they were on the phone with Comcast for an hour and got no resolve. Like, you just never know. But by us being good people and just like, okay, just talk to me. Like, let's sit down and have a moment. It can be a game changer for sure.
Actually, a few of my best clients now have been from a difficult situation that had
Mhm.
to be diffused, and it was just how you handle it. And they
Yes.
respect you more, and they build trust because they're like, "Hey, I know that she's going to be there, and I can trust her,
Mhm.
and I can come to her, and she's dependable." So it's all about how you handle things. And
Exactly.
sometimes that client may not be for you, and that's okay too. I've had
Yes.
to let clients go, and you just do it in a professional manner.
Yeah.
Again, it's about protecting your peace and knowing where you want to go and how you want to protect it.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So how do you feel like your role has, or what has your role in faith, your mindset, or personal growth played in your journey?
Oh, a lot. Um, like I said, after my second divorce, I was angry with the Lord, and He just showed me a different life. He just said,
Mm.
if you're willing to put the work in, let's do it. If that's where you want to
Yes.
go. And I was like, yes, I waited like 40 years.
I'm ready to listen.
I'm ready. Let's do it. But and then in my relationship, they say a three-stranded cord is not easily broken, and
Mhm.
I feel that every day with my husband. He's
Yes.
definitely present. He's definitely within my husband's heart and my heart, and it shows up a lot. And he's just he brings me joy, and I always say it to my
Mhm.
husband, the joy of the Lord it gives you strength. And when you continuously lean on him for all of your needs, and I mean all of your needs, everything, life shifts because you don't
Yes.
have those worldly expectations laying on you, and just I got to be this, or I got to make this much money, or it needs to look like this.
Mhm.
No, it doesn't. What does the Lord want it to look like? What does the Lord want it to be?
Exactly.
What does the Lord want you to represent? If you're continuously asking the Lord and depending on that, your life is going to be great. I'm not saying it's perfect because nothing's perfect, but I will tell you,
Right.
I am the most happiest I've ever been in my life. And
Yes.
every day is His. I just go, what do you want me to do today? How can I serve others? How can I show up for people? What do show me where to go, who to be? And it's amazing.
And it's beautiful. And it's like, again, like you said, it's not perfect, but it's like he literally clears the way for you to just go through, just listen. Even with this podcast, like, I don't want to do this. I was being hard headed. He's probably like, Victoria's not listening again. And then I started it. And again, not knowing like all the one, two, threes of everything, but he's literally just like moving me through this path because, again, ultimately it's serving him.
Yes.
It's creating a platform for people to be themselves, to come to him ultimately. And so, like Misty said, like, God, if you just listen, like, just listen to the man upstairs, everything will just align in ways right before your eyes that you just can't even fathom. Like,
Mhm.
he makes things happen like this if you just listen and you believe and you're just a good person, like you have a good heart, you're spreading positivity, like it's like Misty said, it's game changing. Like you can't even put it in words. You just have to do it. And when you see it, you'll be like, I've waited 33 years for this.
I
Like, I
know.
should have just
I
listened.
know. I have some of my children. I'm like, I talk to like people at church about, and I'm like, man, I just wish I could just instill what I've learned into my kids. If I could just take
Hmm.
this and put it on your head and show them, and they're like, they have to figure it out.
They
And
do.
when you're not there, there's a fear, right? You have this fear
Hmm.
on you, and the fear is not of Lord. Like people don't understand. Fear is opposite of faith, and so
Right.
people are so scared to just give up those pieces of themselves. And it's like, but your life is so much better. Just give it up. Just say, I'm
Yep.
done with the world. I'm done with that. Like,
Yes.
and I feel like I'm more alive, that I am actually living my life.
Like you said, you're happier. And
Yeah.
the peace that you get is like a different type of peace. And you can't put a price on peace. I mean, like, it's crazy.
Yes.
So let this be a sign, guys. Pray. It doesn't have to be a perfect prayer, but just have a conversation with God and he will
Yep.
give you the direction that you need. I promise. Okay, so Misty, so the last question is if you can sit down with the younger version of yourself during your hardest season, what would you tell her?
Get a mentor.
Okay.
I mean, even if you can't afford a actual person to meet constantly, books. There's so many books out there. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
podcast, like this podcast that are inspiring you, something
Mm-hmm.
that elevates you, something that's going to take you to your next level, that is going
Yes.
to keep you focused on your next level. And another thing I would say is look at your daily habits. What are
Mm-hmm.
you doing every day? Are all of those things serving your highest self? Are all of those helping you get to your next level? Because I feel like we get so comfortable in our life that we don't go back and self-reflect of like, hey, why do I do this? Why am I doing this? I do
Mm-hmm.
it 3 times a week, but why am I doing it? Like it doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's not aligning with who it but you're so used to it because it aligned with your past self. So you
Yes.
feel like, hey, I'm in a rut, I'm doing the same thing, but no, stop. Like if you have a vision for you to elevate, what does that person look like? What are the
Mm-hmm.
habits of that person? And you start to develop, you start to incorporate those habits and those things. And
Yes.
those 2 things, if you can do that, your life will start shifting like that. And you just stay focused. You stay, this is who I am. And the I
Mm-hmm.
am statements, those are game changers. Game changer. I mean, like, look who started the I am statement, our creator. So
Mm-hmm.
they're powerful.
Yep. And I agree. Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show, Misty, first of all. You have been a bundle of light, so I appreciate you. How can everybody find you if they just wanted to reach out to you as a resource or for your coaching services as well?
Yeah, my website is mistydonsmith.com. Very easy. I have a Facebook page linked and an Instagram linked on there. You can reach me.
Okay.
All my information is there.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for coming on here. I have appreciated you. You've inspired me, and I know you will inspire anybody who comes across this video. And so then, as always, guys, that's another Women Empowerment Wednesday. Thank you. If you want to be on the show as well, please reach out to me. I'll have the details in the description. And again, we just want to create a safe space where women can feel aligned, seen, valued, heard, all the things, and just make the world a better place. So that's it, guys. Bye.